In this video, I'm gonna give you a step-by-step guide for finding and then attending the Best Worship Leader Conference in 2020. So first, let's talk about why you would even wanna bother attending a Worship Leader Conference. I've got 3 reasons that come to mind right now. Reason number 1, it's really great to meet and network with other worship leaders from around the country or even around the globe in person. It can be very isolating being a worship leader, not having a lot of other people in your local church to be able to really empathize with the daily joys and struggles of worship ministry. So it's really powerful when you can actually develop a sense of community with other worship leaders from around the world. So that's the first reason. Reason number 2, you would want to go to a worship leader conference is to learn something new, to capture vision, to be inspired by what is possible for the worship ministry in your local church context. There is something about live events that is just really, really empowering and really energizing. And at a worship leader conference, you can learn a ton of new things, gain new insight, and learn about new tools and strategies to implement in your ministry to take things to the next level. Reason number 3 you want to attend a worship leader conference is because it's just fun. It's fun to go get away for a couple days from your normal environment, to get somewhere where you can meet others, you can go tour the city that the conference is held at, you can enjoy the food and the customs of the locals there in that city, and you can just have kind of this mini vacation. So those are the 3 reasons why it's worth attending a worship leader conference. So now let's dive into how to go about finding the Best Worship Leader Conference and then attending that conference in 2020. So go to this website, google.com. You may have heard of it before. It really helps you find things. So go to the search bar here and you're gonna type in Worship Innovators Conference, this one right here. And then you're gonna see the top result, most likely. Make sure it's this URL, worshipinnovators.com. Go ahead and click that URL there. Ignore all the other search results that you see underneath. Make sure you go to worshipinnovators.com. Eventually that page is gonna load and you can learn some information about the conference. This conference happens to be June 8th through 9 in Chicago, Illinois. So let's actually go ahead and check our calendar for those dates. So here I am in June 2020 in my calendar, and look, it's already there. Monday, June 8th through Tuesday, June 9th, Worship Innovators Conference, duh. So it's a Monday and Tuesday, which for us worship leaders, that's great because Monday and Tuesday is kind of your day to probably hopefully chill a little bit. You just had Sunday. So what you could do is Sunday evening after church or Sunday afternoon, you could fly to Chicago where this conference is going to be held, and then you'll be able to attend the conference for 2 days, and then you can fly home. You'll be able to make it back home for band rehearsal Wednesday or Thursday night if you do midweek rehearsal, and you'll be all set. You really don't have to miss a beat with your weekly routine. Let's continue to take a look at the details of this conference. So it really looks like that it values innovation in worship. I value innovation in worship. I like implementing the latest tech and strategies for my worship ministry, and chances are if you watch this channel often, you do too. Here's what's going to happen at this conference. Worship conference led by, we've got worship artistry, praise charts. Oh, look, Churchfront is going to be there too. Loop, OnSong, worship tutorials, Planning Center, Sunday Sounds, etc. The style of this particular conference is we're gonna have lots of 20-minute keynotes in the main session room, and then we're gonna have a bunch of panels and interview discussions and stuff with the worship innovators, and then you can go to different focus sessions. So that's gonna be the style of this conference. Like it says here, think TED Talks, but worship leaders. And the other thing I think that sets this conference apart, and obviously you guys have figured out I'm very biased about this conference because I will be there. I'm one of the hosts of the conference. But one thing that sets this conference apart is that the folks who are going to be there to teach are those of us who are actually resourcing and helping worship ministries out on a regular basis. We're not just bringing in kind of your typical conference keynote speakers who all they do for a full-time living is speak at conferences, right? And they're great. They can give inspiring talks, but we're going to give talks that are very pragmatic and to help you grow both pastorally and technically in your worship ministry. So we've got this Jake dude, some joker with a YouTube channel. We got Brian Wall, another crazy dude with a YouTube channel. Ryan Dahl of PraiseCharts.com. I use their charts all the time, and this guy is super knowledgeable about just providing great resources for your team. Jenny McGrew, she's a leader of Worship Leaders Collective Facebook group, really awesome. And then Matt McCoy, founder of Loop. Aaron Stewart, he founded this little app called Planning Center. Maybe you've heard of it. Then we've got Jason who is the OnSong founder, another little app maybe you've heard of. We've got Brady Shear. This guy is an expert in TikTok. He's going to help you learn how to leverage TikTok for your worship ministry. And then we got David Faltzgraf, who is the founder of Sunday Sounds, he's expert at keyboard rigs for worship ministry. We've got John Mike from Loop, and then we've got Jason from Worship Artistry. Probably there's going to be a few more others on this list as well. And so here's the schedule. It's really going to be actionable TED Talk style talks along with these focus sessions. And then here's some of the list of things. So like I'm going to talk about what does gospel-centered worship planning look like. I might have another topic I'll add to this list too. And then also, of course, I'm going to talk about tech. Probably going to be something with Ableton Live and how I use that as my primary tracks and automation rig. And then we've got a bunch of other great talks listed out down here. So you can read through these and do some research on how practical this conference is going to be for your worship ministry. It's going to be in Chicago. So you're going to fly to probably O'Hare or Midway, and then the exact location is going to be determined soon. It's probably going to be, my guess is at some church that's large enough to hold all of us in the Chicago metro area. I would guess it's pretty safe if you wanted to get plane tickets. If you go to O'Hare or Midway, you probably can't go wrong with either one of those. And what's great about Chicago, it's got awesome public transportation. So whatever airport you go to, you can get to the rest of the city by train. And then it's got a lot of fun things to do. It's really fun to just explore this city, especially in the summer. I don't really like being in Illinois or the Midwest at any time of the year except for like the summertime. So I apologize for you folks in the Midwest, but the winters are very harsh there, and well, even the summers can get pretty hot and muggy. So then registration. This is an important part. Make sure you go ahead and register before February 1st. $149 for the early bird pricing. You know what they say, early bird saves $50. If you don't do it before February 1st, it's going to be $199. And that's still a pretty good price when you compare it to other worship conferences out there. They're usually $200 or more, close to sometimes $400 for an individual ticket. So here's the thing, to be completely transparent with you guys, this event is being hosted by companies like myself, Churchfront, we got Planning Center, we've got Praise Charts, we've got Loop Community, we got Sunday Sounds. All of us love teaching and edifying worship leaders, right? And we've got a vested interest because as we help you guys, eventually you'll hopefully find your way to our products, and that's how we have a profitable business that we can keep building, keep helping you. So for this event in particular, we don't need it to be profitable. Like, this is not a business. I don't want to be in the event business. So that's why we're able to keep these ticket prices lower while still deliver the same amount and arguably more value to you, the conference attendee. And another reason why we're keeping the cost low is that we just don't have that much overhead for this event. We're going to be renting out a local church, which hopefully should not be charging us as much as what a bigger venue in the middle of downtown Chicago would charge. And then we're also going to actually be creating our own worship band to provide music for the event, because all of us are worship leaders. We don't need to pay tens of thousands of dollars to have Hillsong or Elevation or one of those groups come in. I love those groups, but it really helps us keep the overhead expenses low for this event, which we can then pass that savings on to you, the event attendee. And then you can have more funds to allocate towards flying there and staying there, and then buying some deep dish pizza. So I hope that's helpful, me being a little bit more transparent about pricing for this event and just the economics of how this all works. And at the end of the day, it really works out well for you. So then your next step is to click this register button here, and then you're gonna go ahead and add the early bird registration to your cart. You can attend the optional event here, the worship song co-writing event, which is gonna take place the day after the conference ends. So you can add that for $25 if you would like, and then go ahead and add that to the cart. And then you're gonna go ahead and proceed to checkout. You can add more tickets if you need to. You're gonna fill out your billing information. And then you're going to go to additional information here. Where did you hear about Worship Innovators? Would really appreciate if you put Churchfront. What that does is it does give me a small commission on the ticket sales. I did invest into making this event happen. All of us guys here that you see on this list have contributed to basically sponsor the event, to make it happen, to purchase the venue, to hire an event coordinator, and all of that. If you did find this event through me, through Churchfront, just select Churchfront right here, and then fill out these forums. What are you hoping to learn? What notes do you have? That gives us more data to make this event more helpful for you. So fill all that out, put in your credit card information, and press the place order button. But it's not over, because next you need to actually make sure you book lodging and airfare. So it's pretty simple, but here's what I would do. If I were you, and I think what I'm gonna do for my team, I'm gonna go to Airbnb. I would just search Chicago and then look up stays and then dates. Let's go all the way to June. Let's say Sunday night through Tuesday, assuming you're not staying for the songwriting thing. Like, look at these Airbnb prices. It's pretty ridiculous. You could easily get a place, especially in if you didn't do downtown Chicago, it probably could be less than $100 a night. A beautiful penthouse room for $110 a night. Man, this might be where I'm staying with my wife. And we got 2 toddlers, so actually probably gonna be complicated. You can walk on Navy Pier. You can go get some deep dish pizza at Gino's or Giordano's. So much fun things to do in Chicago. You didn't expect this to be a travel tutorial, did you? And then, of course, you know, you can go get your flights for this trip as well. So for me, I would go to Southwest, Denver to Chicago Midway, and then I would go all the way. I don't even know if I can book that far out yet. I can't even book that far out because I'm such an early bird to this conference. So of course, as the conference gets closer, you'll be able to actually go and make those bookings. So you'll want to at least, you know, get the plane tickets locked in as soon as possible to get that lowest rate. Even your lodging as well. Highly recommend Airbnb. That's always had really great experiences with that. So that is my guide to finding and attending the Best Worship Leader Conference in 2020. Obviously, guys, I'm being sarcastic about this. There are other great worship leader conferences out there. I care about this one because I'm gonna be there and I would love to meet you. This whole YouTube thing that we do is fun, but it's a one-way conversation, and I would just really love to actually be able to meet you in person at this event. And you're gonna be able to meet a ton of other amazing worship leaders and the other list of worship innovators that you'll see here on this website. So go to worshipinnovators.com to learn more, buy your ticket today, and I can't wait to see you next summer in Chicago.